up we have the Los Angeles Community College District.
Hello, I hope everyone's doing well today. Good morning. We're excited to represent Professor Baldiwalas from Space to Sea Summit, where we don't just learn about business, we build one. And today we're not just talking about innovation, but rather giving hope for a generation of STEM students that believe technology and purpose can come together to build a better world. So I'm Natalie. I'm an electrical engineering and computer science major at Los Angeles Valley College.
I'm Athlete. I'm a computer science major at Los Angeles Valley College.
I'm Logan, and I'm a physics and civil engineering major at LNC. Unfortunately, Professor Baldiwala could not join us today, but she's here in spirit. She's an English professor who also teaches sustainable business for climate action at Westmoreland College, and is incredibly passionate about entrepreneurship and sustainability. With her vision, we are here to show what happens with fostered climate education when it meets cutting-edge technology.
So our pitch is from Space to Sea. Under Professor Baldiwala's mentorship, we use NASA TTU patents, which are basically consist of technology that NASA has used for space missions. But we could use these patents for the blue economy, which is an emerging sector that's using marine resources for economic growth and economic system health. But what makes the NASA T2U patents unique is that they actually help you use the patents and to start your business journey using them.
So last semester, we all participated in the AACC Innovation Challenge, where we used an entrepreneurial thinking to solve real-world problems using the NASA patents. So my team, for example, developed a water filtration system, which is this one, using a NASA patent, and we were able to tackle runoff and freshwater pollution. The patent that we used was filtering molecules with nanotube technology.
Natalie and I have a team, and our robot is shown on the right side, where we focused on creating. It's meant to prevent wildfires, especially after all the devastating fires we had in the past few years. We use the fire and flight patents that you can see on the end over there, but we could just as easily make an underwater version that could collect microplastics or monitor coral health. A real possibility is a wide variety of patents made available with this program, which after this we are now certified.
And then to take these student ideas even further, we can integrate Microsoft Azure by developing simulations like computer models or virtual environments that best implement decisions into coastal communities. So Azure can help us with model impact, predict maintenance, scale sustainability. So Azure gives us a platform to turn these student prototypes into real data-driven solutions.
So currently, we are being supported by the LACCD Board of Trustees, MESA, the Math Engineering Science Achievement Program, Trustee Henderson, who's with us today, and then the California Center for Climate Change Education. As of last year, the blue economy is projected to be at $3 trillion by 2030, and the future starts with students. So today, young innovators who care deeply and think boldly. Through the Sustainable Business for Climate Action course taught by Professor Baldiwala, her students were able to develop full business plans and with financial projections, competitor analysis, and a pathway to scalability. Now imagine if hundreds, even thousands of students had the same opportunity. That's why we're calling for an LA-wide student summit on the blue economy, which is a gathering that empowers students to combine STEM, sustainability, and entrepreneurship with real resources and real impact.
As is, identifying, understanding regulations, and securing funding can be an overwhelming and difficult task. So Professor Baldiwala's proposal needs experienced engineers, NASA personnel, and Microsoft leads to help this revolutionary learning experience. By forming relationships between professionals and students, we can encourage the next generation of entrepreneurs and engineers to develop skills.
So Professor Baldiwala's class and the AACC challenge weren't just exercises but launch pads. With your support, Microsoft Azure, and NASA T2U patents, we can take these sustainable ideas even further. All we need is a chance to come together, to learn, to build, to protect what we love, and from Space to Sea, a student summit, let's build a better world together. Thank you, guys.
Now we can open the floor to questions.
So as I say, you're a bridge from the NASA patents to many in this room who are looking at creating the next, the startups that are really going to solve a lot of the issues we have throughout the environment, correct? So you're making the NASA patents more identifiable and more accessible and explaining it so that the rest of us can take it out into the world and do what we want. Okay, I just wanted to understand.
Yeah,
Good job.
When is your summit coming up for the students?
We don't have any exact plans, so here we're trying to promote it so that it would be made possible. But LACCD has hosted several different types of similar programs. We recently had a couple of hackathons this past semester, or earlier this year and last year, where they gathered all of the colleges in our district and hosted a large overnight hackathon event for people to create different programs. So it would be something similar where students would have the opportunity to work together and build programs or actual products and have engineers be able to put in their efforts.
So what would make that ours different is that we're focusing on the blue economy and also introducing those NASA patents for students to use and to create like actual real like products.
How many teams have gone through this program?
This program, like the NASA patents?
Yeah, through professors' mentorship.
Like 3 to 5 teams she mentored for this program.
Yeah.
But she has a whole class, so in her course that she had all of her students create their own products using the patents, and then create a business plan as we mentioned. So they then had to learn how to actually promote her product and make it a real thing.
Alright, that's all the time we have for questions. Next, presenting is SAR Recycling. And that's right.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. In the early 1970s, environmentalism had a moment. We had a first Earth Day, saw pieces of landmark environmental legislation, and the iconic phrase, reduce, reuse, recycle was born. Now, nearly 60 years later, we are in the midst of a crisis. Every year we see 160 million tons of recyclable material going into our nation's landfills, affecting our soil, water, and air quality, and impacting communities that are the most vulnerable. My name is Shami Cole, and I come from one of those communities. I'm an immigrant from Nigeria, I'm a former San Bernardino resident, and for the last 6 years, a proud Angelino. Today I present to you SAR Recycling. We're a clean tech company that builds and deploys autonomous recycling units that can pay you to recycle and capture data on what you recycle to better understand consumer behavior and also monetize it. We offer a 3-part solution suite: the SAR Bin, the SAR mobile app, and SAR Stream, a client-facing web platform. Our bin is a 5-foot by 5-foot steel cage unit. The bin uses AI-powered object recognition integrated with Azure to take the confusion out of recycling. Items placed in the bin are instantly identified via a lens inside the bin, and we sort the material: glass, plastic, aluminum, as well as food waste. We place them into cleaner streams, so a smaller bin was inside the bin. Working as a part of a multi-bin network, each bin is capable of providing live stream insights, everything disposed into it, translating that information into usable data for more efficient and effective cost for waste operations. We were able to service universities, municipalities, private venues, shopping areas, as well as grocery stores. We were able to service universities in particular, giving them real-time data through our SAR Stream client platform. We were able to provide information on waste volume levels. We're also able to give waste composition streams as well, and diversion rate data in real time. We're also able to provide predictive analytics on bin performance. We provide fullness sensing for bin capacity, alerting clients when a bin needs collection. And we're also able to create an optimized pickup route so you only have to service the bins that are in need of collection, saving money on the number of deployed staff, so labor costs, as well as boosting efficiency for your waste management operations. We also can support sustainability reporting. And best of all, we pay users to recycle. With our downloaded app, you can earn just from recycling. You're able to just place the material inside of a bin, tap the bin like it's Apple Pay, and you're on your way with your rewards. Consider the app like Venmo. You're able to transfer earnings directly to your bank account, donate it to local charities in the area, connect it to micro-investing platforms like Acorn, Robinhood, or Stash, and you're also able to connect to crypto integration options. Our business model is simple. We serve two main stakeholders. Everyday people who use our bin for their normal waste needs. These folks pay nothing to use our bins. And institutions like universities and municipalities that pay a monthly leasing price per bin per month. The bin and the mobile apps feature advertising space. The web platform acts as a data dashboard that provides base level data metrics with premium information that you can also pay for as well. And last but not least, we also sell the data that we collect to beverage companies for more insights on material consumption as well as sales retargeting. The US waste management market is a $59 billion industry, but smart recycling still remains underdeveloped. We're aligned with California's SB 1383 and AB 827, which requires businesses and institutions to reduce waste, track contamination, as well as provide compliance proof. Cities and campuses are facing growing fines, audits, and reporting burdens, and Saru is positioned to solve these challenges at scale. Ladies and gentlemen, we are building the Tesla of trash cans and making waste sexy, with a data-driven approach. We have been able to build a functional prototype, tested with over 500 users, secured interest from popular institutions like UCLA, Santa Monica City College, as well as the Rose Bowl for short-term pilots. We've also been able to secure corporate sponsors and design our unit to meet LA's pressing environmental goals, as well as waste-related expenditures. We've built a network of support from leaders across the climate tech landscape, as well as folks in environmental justice, and built a community of over 1,000 beta testers and supporters interested in seeing us take this to the next level. I could not do this without my incredible team, and I have the pleasure of working with teammates that have experience in the beverage industry, building hardware products, and the data monetization space. Folks, the future of recycling and waste management starts today. Help me build it with today's investment. Thank you.
Now we can open the floor to questions.
Happy to walk over here a little bit.
You say you're lining up pilot programs. Do you have anything out in the field right now?
Yes, so we actually have, in Riverside, California, we've been able to develop a prototype which we've again tested with over 500 users. We've also brought the prototype to LA and tested with a variety of small coffee shops as well. We're aiming to do a kind of a pilot tour in the fall, bringing it across more colleges and universities in this area. But we're looking for an investment so that we can actually build a second version of our prototype.
Okay, and what does that cost to build? What your prototype?
So the initial MVP was actually $4,000. We were kind of fumbling around trying to figure it out, but we've actually been able to get a lot of mentorship to build the next iteration of the unit, and we're anticipating it'll look a little closer to 1,500.
Maybe back on that, what's the margin you get on? I know you have 3 different products, like 2 of them are web-based and one's the actual bin. Like blended, what's the margin across?
In terms of margin, we're thinking of something like, from what we've been able to analyze, it's something like 40 to 60%. When we're looking at all the chances for revenue with the product, one, of course, there's the advertising on the unit. There's also the unit itself in terms of the leasing per bin per month. The bins work essentially in a network, right? So all the data that's being collected is fed to you as a client, where you're able to use the StarterStream platform and essentially see all the different analytics from your waste management services. Something I love to say is when you're using the platform itself, we can let you know what bins need to be taken care of at what particular time. So instead of having your staff go to every single bin on a particular campus or a large private venue, we can let you know specifically which ones need to be taken care of. So instead of having 10 waste management staff, to put the other folks to better use with other work in particular.
So following on to that, what would be the typical ROI for the consumer?
The consumer. So you as a person just using the bin, you're able to get money from recycling essentially, right? And so versus the typical your recycling experience right now, you're able to not really get too much value or benefit. Maybe you care about the environment and so you want to do your part. But we're aiming to talk to people or engage people that are recyclers and non-recyclers as well. We want to influence your behavior around sustainability and make sure that whenever you see one of our bins, you know that you can get value from it instantly, right? Again, I talked about you're able to place the material into the bin and tap it like it's Apple Pay, and you're on your way with your rewards. And those rewards can be utilized for a variety of different things.
That's all the time we have for questions, guys. For our last presentation, we have Shining Light. Just give them a round of applause.
Hi everyone, I want to thank you for your time and having us here today. This is our project, Shining Light on Quantum Biology, where we dedicated over 8 weeks exploring quantum biology and plant chloroplast to uncover nature's blueprint for near-perfect energy efficiency. We represent the biotechnology program at Los Angeles Mission College, and the highlight of the program is workforce development, where 90% of students land a job offer within just the first semester. Our team members include Dr. Aurora, who is the program director of the biotechnology program. She has her PhD in biochemistry and master's in plant physiology.
And I'm Jesse Partida. I have a certificate in biotechnology. I also am an aspiring physicist. I am currently pursuing my bachelor's in physics. And I'm also currently a manufacturing technician at Grifols Biological, which I was able to secure with the help of Dr. Aurora and her biotechnology program directly.
So to Estrada, I have my associate's degree in horticulture and plant biotechnology, among other associates, and I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in biomanufacturing. This is a glance of our project, of our methods, our data. We won't go into depth with it, but Jesse will give a brief summary of what we did and why it's important.
I also want to briefly mention on that slide, that's also a direct product of the biotechnology program, so that was with the help of Dr. Aurora. So anyways, in our project, we investigated photosynthesis, which is nature's iconic green energy system of turning sunlight into energy. It has been shown that plant chloroplasts are 85 to 95% energy efficient, which is actually absurd. By comparison, solar panels in cars are only about 20% energy efficient or fuel efficient, and that's on the higher end. I like this comparison to solar panels because they have a very similar way of turning sunlight into energy, yet there's this huge unaccounted for discrepancy. And this is what we look for specifically in our project. We wanted to know why plants are so much more efficient than solar panels. And in the end, what we found is that the quantum phenomena, such as quantum tunneling, coherence, just like buzzwords, but quantum phenomena are behind this near perfect energy efficiency. And so we hope to utilize these quantum phenomena, I'll just call them quantum for now, we hope to utilize quantum to revolutionize our current energy systems. And our main focus is bio-inspired solar cells, where we close this gap between the 20%, 95% energy efficiency. Some other alternatives though, besides just solar panels, we can apply this to batteries, make more efficient batteries than quantum batteries. And in nuclear energy, we can optimize nuclear fusion, specifically nuclear fusion, which is a greener, safer, and cleaner version of nuclear fission, a new nuclear energy source. Outside of energy, these are other applications. There's still cool potential avenues that we can apply our research to, such as in the medical industry, we can use quantum to help in the delivery of medication into patients. And in quantum crops, we can have a quantum understanding of plants and farming, which will lead to more efficient agriculture.
So if we were able to utilize this near perfect energy efficiency in plant chloroplasts, it would lead to a better use of resources for a higher energy output while reducing waste and carbon footprint. Utilizing AI, we were able to generate a model for our savings, and we found that if we were to increase solar panel energy efficiency just by 10%, that would save LA County $660 million annually and $6 billion for the state of California. The actual discrepancy is 70%, and that would lead to 7 times more savings.
We also We also plan to incorporate our biotech program, our research, into the LA County School District, where we can empower STEM education and provide a streamlined workforce development system, which one more slide.
I can just say it.
There you go.
So what the roadmap looks like is we want to apply our project to a wider variety of ecosystems, photorespirative organisms such as algae, and discover what organism is our best option. Our next is to utilize Azure OpenAI for possible quantum pathways and generate model data. And with our data, we want to train AI to help growers. For example, it can help farmers utilize crops that are using sunlight more efficiently. We want to obtain funding through stipends and investors for advanced equipment, increase workforce development through partnerships and training, like Jesse mentioned earlier, through utilizing school systems. And we want to, in the end, we want to create a cleaner, greener future.
We'll make sure to share the full slides with the judges after, just in case in the audience as well. So now we're opening the floor to questions.
Just a more theoretical question. If photosynthesis has been around for, a very long time, why hasn't this use case been applied to your context? Just from your video, I'm curious.
Well, it hasn't been applied because quantum phenomena specifically, they're very hard to work with directly. In our research, we didn't do direct interactions with these quantum phenomena. We kind of look for like placeholders, if the conditions are right for these quantum phenomena. But I guess in the future, we want to utilize whatever the plants are using to use their quantum mechanisms and incorporate that into our the energy systems.
And just to kind of piggyback on that a little bit, like, do you have a sense of the cost and kind of the price of all this needed to kind of make this next step?
So, quantum systems in a laboratory settings, from what I understand, they're very, very high tech. I guess, okay, maybe not going into lab settings. We want to utilize things like X-ray diffraction and maybe electron microscopy. So specifically with the electron microscopes, those can be between the range of a couple thousand, but the higher end ones can be like several hundred thousands. We don't need the higher end ones, so maybe a couple thousands for electron microscopy to get more data, more research going on that end.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. So what are the other inputs and outputs that you think would go into the tech?
Exactly.
Like the inputs and outputs for using photosynthesis as a mechanism. Like there's a lot. It's all about that cost of what goes into it.
From what I'm getting, maybe for inputs, maybe incorporating a wider selection of maybe plant samples, or am I not like on the right track of question? For more samples, we could use instead of plants.
I meant more for the ongoing operations. Like what else is going to be needed to run it?
Oh, I see. So yeah, like those two that I mentioned, the X-ray diffraction, electron microscopy.
Quantum far, it measures the photons that come off the sun.
And then also, like for our research project, it was actually pretty accessible. We just use TLC chromatography and spectrometry. Those are just like little portable devices and like paper strips, basically. So that's pretty replicable, and we can just apply that to a wider range of data sets. So in terms of that, like in the near future, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah. So like the hardware cost is relatively. You're expecting that to be lower than current.
At least initially, yes.
That's all the time we have for questions. Let's give another round of applause.